Good evening and welcome to WeatherDown in MuleTown. As always, this is your captain speaking. Oops, see that we don't have the video feed pulled up there. 1 second, y'all, 1 second. Still trying to get my act together. Haha, there we are. So, as I was saying, got a lot to talk about, so we'll hop right on into it. As you can see, if you're just joining us, hadn't been paying attention to the page earlier, we do have the winter storm watch in effect for our area. And you can see areas to our west here in West Tennessee, Memphis, Jackson, around there or so, have been upgraded to the winter storm warning. Again, I know a lot of our regulars already know this, but if you're just joining the page, you don't know the difference. Watch literally means that you need to watch out for whichever weather it's talking about: tornado, winter storm, severe thunderstorm, whatever. Warning means that it's actually occurring, or is, in this case, is about to occur. So with the winter weather, obviously we have a little bit more notice of that than we do tornadoes and a little bit more time to prepare. But nonetheless, we will get right into things. So, there is that aforementioned winter storm watch, so it goes into effect late Sunday evening into Tuesday morning. I'm pretty sure that we'll end up under the warning, probably, if not by late tonight, by tomorrow, sometimes midday or so anyway. So, that is the prognostication there. I think that will probably happen because they issued this one at about 02:30. This morning. So significant travel impacts expected. Any snow that falls will not melt until at least Thursday due to the prolonged freezing temperatures that we will experience. So that is going to be the downside of things. And it may also cause some issues with the salt and the brine as well, because that doesn't work very well below 15 degrees. Today, high of Columbia of about 42. Currently, I've got 36 degrees in Sunnyside. Pressure is 29.83 and rising slightly. Not much of a wind at the moment, but that's been about the only time today. It's still been a little breezy, not as much as the last day or so, though, for sure. Pretty mostly sunny around the rest of the mid-state area as well. Like we've been saying, I hope you enjoyed it, because it's probably one of the last ones that we will get, because tonight it's starting to look pretty chilly again. So mostly clear and 19 degrees tonight. So definitely make sure you got your plants in or whatever else, because it's going to start the cold snap. So Sunday, high of 25, so still below freezing there. And partly sunny, and about the same story for most of the rest of the mid-state area. The freezing temperatures that we've been talking about definitely fall into the realm of dangerously cold. So you can see there our purple freezing line indicating 32 degrees. We're going to spend a lot of time below that line. So as you see there, only going to get to about the upper 30s on Thursday. And we may have another surprise in store for you Thursday into Friday, but we will talk about that a little bit later into next week. But things to do, definitely, before the cold arrives: bring your pets inside, drip your faucets, cover those sensitive plants, and check on your neighbors, especially the elderly folks. If you have any handicapped neighbors, shut-in types like that, definitely give them a shout. Make sure they're okay and don't need anything like that. So, hear that big money in my ear, and I got several to shout out before we get done as well, too. So don't let me forget about that. All right. And so this is what the NWS put out earlier this morning. So current forecasted snow totals: Columbia, MuleTown area, about 3 to 4 inches is the official forecast there. Snow will begin late Sunday night or early Monday morning, although some of the latest model runs have indicated that it might start a little bit sooner than that, just depending on where you live in the Middle Tennessee area. The heaviest snow is expected during the day Monday, and conditions will deteriorate rapidly during the day. That's the NWS's words, not mine, but I tend to agree with them. It looks like some of the heaviest part of the snowfall will be right around like the going to work time, before lunchtime, around into there. So timing Sunday night into Tuesday morning, so we do expect some of the snow to linger on over into Tuesday. So it's going to be basically an on and off all day thing Monday, and possibly part of the day Tuesday as well. So see, got our snow chances there in the middle to see in excess of 2 inches. So got about 80 to 90% in Columbia. So it is working on all but a surety that we will see at least 2 inches of snow. So those of you all that have thrown down some hard-earned dough on that sled, looking like you might just actually get to use it. So significant travel impacts are likely. If you must travel, be sure to check the latest road conditions. Give yourself plenty of time to safely reach your destination. You may know how to drive, but not everybody else does. Trust me on that one, folks. Been there, done that. Dress warmly, as hypothermia or frostbite can happen in these conditions, and it can happen quickly. We'll start talking about some of the wind chills and the things that you can expect going forward with that, and it will not take long. If you've got exposed skin or anything like that, it can get you quickly. Going to the rightmost graphic there, chance of snow greater than 4 inches. NWS has got us at 40 or 50%, just depending on where you live in the Murray County area. I think that's probably pretty good odds. That's been about right down the middle from what I'm seeing on the model runs as well. Maybe a little bit higher, so we'll see as we go. Nothing is set in concrete, like we said, until it actually gets here. All right, so their winter storm planning timeline, a few days out. That's kind of where we've been, so I hope you've got all of this stuff done already. So do have emergency supplies for your home and your vehicle. Check your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, especially if you are using an alternative heating source, and then make sure you replenish fuel for your vehicles and those heating sources the day before. So this will be tomorrow. Forecast accuracy will continue to improve, so keep checking the latest forecast. That's one thing we can help out with there. We always try to get the NWS products out to you as quick as they are released by them. So make sure that if you have any plans for next week that can be moved or adjusted, or if you don't feel comfortable traveling, go ahead and adjust those plans. Call the boss, tell him you ain't coming. Do whatever you got to do there. And also have multiple ways to receive those warnings. So obviously your cell phone, if it's a newer smartphone, should be programmed to receive the WIA alerts, the wireless emergency alert system, unless you've turned it off. If you turn it off, go back in and turn it on. Don't be a dummy. Could save your life. And then definitely bring those pets indoors. Ensure they have got plenty of high quality H2O. During and after. So this is going to be Sunday night potentially, and then definitely into Monday, and then the first half of the day on Tuesday. Remain vigilant and stay informed. Drive only if necessary. Know some of the folks out there got to go to work. I feel you. Been there, done that. First responders, like I used to be, cannot call into work like that. So we got to be there, and especially in a situation like we're about to be facing from the look of things. Check on your neighbors and family. Make sure you properly ventilate those emergency heat sources. Carbon monoxide will get you, and it will get you quick. And the bad part is you don't even realize it's getting you until you're dead. So please be careful with those heaters and such. If you have an emergency generator like we do here, make sure you keep it at least 20 feet away from your home. That's a fire hazard. And again, the carbon monoxide. And take it easy when you're shoveling. That also applies to, snowing, sledding, razor-in, ATV, and whatever you choose to go do. Take it easy. Don't bundle up so much that you get hot and start to sweat. Again, that sweat on that exposed skin can cause you some problems. You don't want to go there. So we'll hop right into the HRR model that I put up on the page. It's the last 48-hour one that's run, I believe. The next one's not ready yet. No, so the 23 Zulu model is running now. And then so the 00 Zulu, the next one will be our next 48-hour model out of it, and we'll have a better idea potentially of what to expect as is. This is one of my favorite models. It's a short range model, and it allows for convection and some of the other current conditions to be factored in and extrapolated out with the most latest and greatest and freshest data. So does tend to be one of the more accurate ones, I think, but then again, it's just a model. So it's one of those things where I'm referring to when I say I can only go off what the supercomputers are telling me. So this is Sunday at noon now, so I've got it moving really slow so we can study it. 1 p.m., 2 p.m., you see the snow there start to come into focus. 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and see, right, it's right there at the Murray County line. And then some folks may start seeing some snow between 6 and 7 p.m. Tomorrow evening. You see the darker blues there, obviously heavier snow, and that pinky, purpley color down there to our south is some of the ice potential that we were referencing. Not as bad at the moment, but you'll see it kind of flare up to our south in just a bit on the next couple of slides. But as you see, Columbia's got some pretty maybe mid to mild snowfall going on there at the moment, but it's going to pick up here real quick. So maybe get a little bit of a break there between 7 and 8, maybe 9 a.m., but then it comes back with a vengeance. So those dark blues right there over the Columbia-Murray County area, pretty heavy snow, and then the model ends right there at noon. So that was our last frame of the model, but as you can see, the snow was still going pretty heavy when it ends. This is the same thing, but with the snow accumulation totals there mapped out instead. And it's hard to see, but right above the OLU in Columbia, there is a broad, like kind of bright stripe of that 5 to 6 inch that kind of creeps into Columbia there on the last couple of frames here. So Columbia broadly about 4 inches out of that. I'll let it play again real quick. But some areas up towards the northern half of the county, according to this run of this model, and they do change, can change, and will, should see some pretty good snowfalls. So as we discussed in the last couple of days, there was that 1 or 2 scenario that we had thought maybe north of 40, maybe south of 40, and it looks like things are going right down the middle of where we thought they would, and Columbia-Murray County is right there in the middle of the higher accumulation totals. So great news for the snow lovers, not so great for the folks that don't want to see that. As we draw closer to this event, it does look more and more like we might see a significant winter event. So this is the NWS blend of models, 19 Zulu run, and again showing Columbia, Murray County area with about 5 inches of snow. So not too shabby there as far as the accumulation totals. This one is the 18 Zulu run of the GEFS model. And again, we hate to kind of say between this and that, but I mean, we don't really know, folks. That's, the best we can do sometimes. And right now, this one's giving us those brackets of about 1 inch or about 6 inches. I will show you just a second the model I'm using to bracket my low end of things with, because it is kind of yucky, but it's one of those that it shows us not getting as much snow, and maybe like a broadside or side swipe of the snow. So 18 Zulu GEFS run has got us in about a 80 to 90% chance. So like we were saying, that's about all but sure that we are going to see some decent accumulating snowfall. And again, this is the 84% chance or so of this 1 to 6. So obviously, as you go up towards the 6, it's not 80%, but it's still a pretty decent looking chance there. 18 Zulu run of the Icon model here shows about the same, maybe even closer to 6 inches up there towards like the BIA of Columbia, little strip there, maybe around Spring Hill, maybe closer to 6 plus. So it's just depending on which model you ask, and I'm trying to talk to all of them just to kind of get the the general idea of what all is going on. And then, as mentioned, here is my bracket. So this one's only got us at about 2 inches. So that's kind of where I've been saying, you know, about the 2 to 4, you know, the 3 to 4, somewhere around there. This is one of the ones that I'm using for that low end bracket. So that right now is the current thinking. NWS has got it officially as 3 to 4. I'm thinking it's a good chance we get more than that, but we'll just have to wait to see. I was explaining that earlier on some of the chats, that even once it gets here, we don't 100% know. When we're looking at the radar picture, we can see snow aloft, and sometimes if we have that nasty dry air that we usually get when it's cold, we can see snow on the radar and it's not actually making it down to the ground. So that's where you all come in to help us out there with what we call ground truth. Once I start seeing the snow approaching the Murray County area, I'll start letting you all know, posting some of those radar images, and I'll need you to help me tell you what you're seeing. So if we're seeing that snow falling from the sky, let me know. And if I say, hey, you know, Mount Pleasant, it looks like it should be snowing over you right now, and if it's not, let me know just as well. So that is one way that you can help us out. And if you have any measurable snow, definitely go ahead and stick a ruler out in it there. Try not to measure it off of a car or on an elevated surface. Just get a nice flat level plane of grass or something like that. Stick a ruler down in it and try to get us a decent measurement off that, and we'll pass it along to the NWS. That is one way that you can help improve the models and the forecasting, is by providing that ground truth for us. Or you could even go in and become a member of what's called Coca Race, and report that stuff as well as rainfall and stuff like that all the time, if you're into such weather nerdery. So everybody's got the idea on the winter storm watch, so I'll go ahead and turn that off there now and go ahead and put up our general forecast as well, so you can see that on the ticker there at the bottom as we're talking. But those are the main points that I wanted to cover. So obviously got a lot on our plate, got a lot going on. I'm probably going to be very busy, very, very busy. Because Boppy will be out of pocket for part of the day tomorrow, so it will be just me doing things, and hopefully we'll have her back in place by tomorrow evening, but that's kind of a moving target right now. So help me out, help each other out. If you see some newer folks asking some questions like that, you know, the basic stuff in the comments, go ahead and help them out. If we get real busy, I may not be able to be in the comments as much. It really doesn't apply like that as much during a snow situation, obviously, because we don't necessarily have anybody's lives that are in peril. So in a tornado outbreak, obviously I'm as busy as I can be, and trying to stay kind of focused in on the radar or whichever thing I'm looking at, and I try to be in the comments as much as I can, but it's not my main priority. With this, it's kind of the opposite, so I'll try to be in the comments as much as I can, but I may still get busy at times and just not be able to get to you, or it could get buried. Y'all have no idea unless you have any experience with any kind of thing like this or running a page. The other night when we were talking about all this, and I had a bunch of models going up and folks talking about things back and forth on the page, I mean, I'm getting 15, 20, 30 notifications a second. Like every time I refresh my phone, it's just buried at the one I was trying to look at. So bear with me. And again, if you can help each other out in the comments, that is great. Love seeing it. We're having some folks, like we talked about briefly already, that were looking for some heaters, and you are in the comments. Boom, boom, boom. Here, you can find it here. Hey, you need a sled, go there. Love to see it. That is what we're all about here at the community in WeatherDown in MuleTown. So, as always, we are simulcasting this on YouTube as well. So, hello to all of our viewers on YouTube. We still need a couple more. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I think at last check we were at like 890. So definitely spread the word there. Still a little bit. Got a little bit left to go there on YouTube, so we can get monetized there as well. Helps pay the bills, keep the lights on. So, speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and hop in the comment section. Miss Tammy, big money, thank you as always. Kristen, Thank you very much. And Jennifer, and Bree, Candy, thank you all very, very much. Daniel says the amount of traffic was madness. Yes, it was. Food lines a little bit less busier than all the other grocery stores, a little bit smaller, and it was still crazy. So, you know, we had people commenting there that their kids worked there, and they said it was busy, and I can definitely confirm it was a madhouse earlier today. So, Linda, I'll get to you in just a second. It will normally pop up a little star icon at the bottom. I don't know what kind of device you're using, but it'll usually give you a little thing there on the side of the comment box. I believe it's been a while since I've looked at y'all's side of it, but I want to say that's right. Jackie says, in Waynesboro tonight, wondering what time everything will start tomorrow so I can make it back to Columbia. That's a great question. Earlier, we were thinking maybe that it was going to be in the pre-dawn hours of like Monday morning. But now, some of the model guidance and some of the things that we're seeing from the NWS suggest that it could potentially start a little bit earlier than that. So, as we were just discussing, and I'll pull it back up for you again so we can talk about that. The HRR model had it showing that it was going to start possibly around 6 or 7 p.m. And again, that was light snow activity that we were looking at there. So it may not be all reaching the ground. Again, this is just a model, just the prediction of what the radar might look like. But as it comes into frame here in a second, we'll see I think it was about 6 or 7 p.m. Southern end of Murray County, Mount Pleasant, Culleoka or so could start seeing some of those lighter snow showers. So that is a possibility. It's something that we're keeping a very eye on because it is still a very fluid situation. Right now, though, the thinking is it will possibly be sometimes later in the evening on Sunday and continuing into the daylight hours on Monday and off and on, pretty much on, though, all day Monday, and then again continuing over Monday night and into the daylight hours, possibly around till noon even on Sunday. But as you see, 4 p.m. here, 5 p.m. it's right at the county line, and then 6 p.m. about half of Murray County should be seeing snow. 7 p.m. it should be full on, and then it picks up kind of intensity with the darker blues from there. The purples and the pinks and stuff being some mix or some sleet ice or something like that, but it looks like Columbia will stay within the snow area of the system there. We're not really seeing any of the models forecasting any of the ice mix for Columbia. Some of the counties to the south, Giles, Lawrence, Wayne, you may see some ice in there. It is very possible. So but there we go. So it picks up pretty heavy about 11 a.m. to 10 a.m. So right around the rush hour time going in through noon there, it's going to be some pretty heavy snow from the look of things. So if you got to go to work or if you got a doctor's appointment or somewhere to be, whatever, definitely drive carefully and give yourself plenty of time to arrive safely. That's a great question, Jackie. Bree says, is it supposed to snow Thursday too? Ugh. So I've been watching this one, and again, we kind of hold that on you a little bit every now and then because we can't give away all our secrets, but there is a possibility. I've been seeing some of the longer range models or so indicating that we could potentially, I want to throw that out there with my little asterisks in air, potentially see some accumulating snow, and possibly, this is less certain than the snow, possibly some ice accumulation Thursday into Friday. But right now, that's not very certain at all. It still is a good way out in terms of meteorological speak. So we'll be watching that one as it gets closer. But it is possible. Kind of going to be adding insult to injury if that does come to pass, because Thursday might be our first day above freezing. And again, it's still, a while out to forecast even for temperatures, but it is very possible that we could get an additional wintry precip event. We'll call it that for now, Thursday into Friday, but don't quote me on that yet. Leanne says hello, and hello back to you, Leanne. Susie says hi as well. Nancy sent in big money, appreciate you there. Leanne, hopefully I answered your question there with when, I can't talk. With the when will this begin? Hopefully I answered that for you. All right. Miss Tammy is loving the forecast with the snow. Bethany from Summertown joining the stream. Welcome, Bethany. Regina, hello. Hello to yourself. Tammy from Christiana watching. Thank you for joining us here. Cynthia says, hey, and I say, hey, back to you, Miss Cynthia. Hope you are doing well. Oh, somebody commented and it scrolled me up. One sec. All right. Holly, big money. Thank you for that as well. Helping us keep the lights on. Ashley, loving the snow. I hear ya. I feel ya. I was just talking to your hubby about that a second ago. He wanted the inside knowledge. And thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel, Regina. We appreciate that as well. Beth is like a kid in school again. I do too. I totally understand that one. The inner kid in me gets excited every time it talks about snow, just like I'm watching Bill Hall again. Date myself on that one, but loved Snowbird. Let's see. What about the dry air that could factor in? That is the question. So most of the model guidance is saying that it shouldn't dry out, that we should be able to keep what moisture that we've got and ample amounts of it just from the snow accumulation totals that we are seeing. And that kind of surprised me because normally when we get the really cold polar air from the north, it is quite dry. But this time, we'll have to see. What is the name of the YouTube channel? Be glad to subscribe. It's the same thing here. So it is Weather Down in MuleTown. I think if you go type in youtube.com/channel/@WDiMT, it should get you there. But you could just search it as well too, and it will. We got the same logo up, so you'll see us. You are very welcome, Jackie. Miss Kathy joining us from Murfreesboro. Welcome, as always. Kim says, what does it look like for Columbia? I'll go ahead and throw that back up there real quick if you were just joining us, Kim. So this is the model I was just showing, and this is the snow accumulation totals off of it. Again, this is just a simulation, but from what it's looking like, our snow system appears to be taking the path that we kind of thought it would, and Columbia's officially in the 3 to 4 inch bracket, but some, or actually a few of the models are saying now that it could be more than that, and I'll bring up this still version of that so it's a little easier to see real quick. So yeah, this is the NWS blend of models, and it's actually got us closer to the 4 to 5 inch side of things, so that is definitely within the realm of possibility. You kind of see some of the you can follow the track there of the snow as we were talking about it, kind of staying south of that I-40 line, maybe just along and south of. But Bartlett with about 5 inches there, Columbia with about 5 inches, Nashville probably close to the same, and then Cookeville closer to 6 or 7 inches possibly there, maybe in the higher elevations at Knoxville as well. So definitely a significant winter event on the way from all indications. And here is our bookend brackets, kind of what we were talking about. So this model that we've got, the 18 Zulu run of the GEFS model, says between about 1 and 6 inches. I know if you're thinking 6 is cool, you probably think 1 is kind of a drag, but that's just, it's the best we can do sometimes, is a between this and a between that. So, as far as that same model is concerned, though, this is our chance to see greater than 1 inch of snow, and it's pretty much all but certain that we will get at least 1 inch of snow, just judging by the totality of all of the models and everything rolling into everything. It's looking like we shall. So again, different model. This is the Icon model, showing possibly even closer to 6. So not quite ready to give my official prognostication yet, but I'm thinking that it could potentially be between about 4 and 6 inches. So we'll have to wait and see, just as the system gets a little bit closer and comes into the view of the short range models, which again, it should be on the HRR model within the hour or so. So I'm going to be really watching for that 00 Zulu model to drop. So as soon as it does, I'll pass it on. And then again, this is what I've been using as my lower bookend. So about 2 inches. If all else fails, it looks like we still should hopefully manage about 2 inches out of all of this. So that is the current thinking right now and all of the methods behind the madness. So Ms. Barbara joining us from Columbia. Hello, hello. Daphne as well on the stream. Thank you, Daphne. Glad to have you here. Linville. So yeah, Michaela down in Linville, the storm totals should be kind of similar. But down in Giles County, Lawrence County, Wayne County, there along the state lines, you all may actually see some ice. So, seen a couple of different models suggest that. It still is up in the air, no pun intended. But several of the last model runs have shown the wintry mix of maybe a snow, sleet, ice being down towards that area and into northern Alabama. So you should get a pretty decent snowfall out of this, but you could get some of the yucky stuff with it as well. Allison, thank you. Big money. Appreciate that. Beth is stocked up on wine and ready to go. I love it. Miss Kathy, how long have you known me? Whatever 1996 to now is, so 28 years, I guess, close to it. So since I was but a wee lad, it's been a long time for sure. Melissa says, hello for White Bluff in Dixon County, hoping for the snow. Well, hopefully we can send you some of that good snow vibe, Melissa. I'm glad to have you here on the stream with us. Cheryl sending a big money. Thank you, Miss Cheryl. Awesome, helping us keep the lights on. And again, folks, we are an all-volunteer organization. We never like to rattle that little can, but we do have a little fundraising drive here and there just to help us cover some of the costs, because all the models and some things like that we're showing you are based on subscriptions and things like that. So we do have a little bit of an operating budget, but it's mostly a hobby. Always has been. Been doing this for 26 years, about the same time that I know Miss Kathy. So it is a labor of love, and we love doing it because we love MuleTown. So always glad to have you here on the stream. If you have any more questions, go ahead and throw those in the chat, and we'll would love to answer them. Mandy asked when it will start tomorrow. Tell Mandy she should have showed up earlier. Just kidding. No, Mandy. Well, it's up in the air. It's looking like previously that it was going to start like overnight into like the pre-dawn hours of Monday, but now a couple of the models are saying that it may start earlier than that. So the latest HRR model that we just showed a moment ago is saying that the MuleTown area could begin to see some snowfall between 6 and 7 p.m. tomorrow. So that is definitely new news to us. Actually surprised me a little bit when I ran that last model. So we'll be keeping an eye on the models as they drop, because I've got several here that I'm looking at. I'll actually show you. I went and illustrated this for, I think, the last last video that we did, I believe. I went in and showed everybody just kind of how I do all the method to my madness. So, these are models from Pivotal Weather. They don't sponsor us in any way, so I'll just throw that out there for free. Although you should, Pivotal Weather, if you're listening. We go in and look at one of any of those models. Each of those things you see there are a different model or an ensemble of models that we go in and look. Some of them kind of only do temperature and climate. Some of them are good at, you see the convection allowing section there in the middle with the HRR NAM 3 kilometer CONUS, which is continental United States. And then some of the others like the Canadian ensemble model, the Euros, which are a little bit finicky with snow. And then we have Icon, and then the UK Met office, the meteorological office in the United Kingdom. So we go in, essentially, let's see, we'll pull up that HRR that we've been talking about. Go back to the 18 Zulu run. This one normally runs models usually, I think, in 18-hour stretches, I think is what it is. Yeah, it normally goes in and runs in 18-hour stretches, but every 6 hours it will run a 48-hour loop, and that's what this is. So we've got it centered there roughly on Middle Tennessee and Kentucky. And we can go in and look at a couple of different products. So this is an estimate of what it thinks the total snowfall will be. I'm going to go ahead and advance it there a little bit. So Sunday 5 a.m. looking like everything's going to stay to our north, and then we see the snow starting to creep in here from the west, and this is 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m. it's showing us with possibly some measurable snowfall there, and then going into 10, 11, midnight, then 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and noon there. So right at noon when this ends, it's suggesting that Columbia has got between about 4 and 5 inches of snow. So again, that's about what we expected, but we'll show you again and illustrate this. If we take that all the way forward again, you see here when it starts to really get going, when the model cuts off, we've got those really dark, deep blues there, and that's letting us know that it's pretty heavy when the model cuts off at that 4 or 5 inch estimate, and we've still got all of this back here to go. So it would not surprise me if this is what comes to pass, that we may see more than the 3 to 4 inches that is forecast. So again, that is just one model. I tried to go in and ask them all what they have to say, like we were talking about the other day, hear all the stories, and then I try to direct the movie from that. The GFS model has actually been pretty bullish on all of the snow the last couple of days, and then all of a sudden, it kind of wasn't as much. So that was running through Tuesday. Let me back that up. So Sunday, 12 p.m., 3 p.m., it's tending to agree that we could see some snowfall in the MuleTown area around 6 p.m., but it's a little bit more spotty, as you see there. So we do get some decently heavy snowfall indicated there. This is like Monday, 3 p.m., and continuing on through Monday evening into Tuesday possibly, but then it's kind of backing off. So again, it's just the challenge we face, and trying to forecast snow around here, it is difficult. Normally, because when we get the wintry precip, it comes down as ice or sleet or some kind of mix, because we end up usually having some kind of changeover from snow to rain, rain to snow, or there's some ice or sleet in there. It's melting layer. It's this whole big thing that's hard to explain without the little graphic that I keep forgetting. You're going to have to remind me to get that graphic. And it's difficult. The rest of the time, as was asked in the comments, when we get the Arctic air coming in from the north, a lot of times it's extremely dry. We get that warm, moist Gulf air coming up from the south, and it dries out literally in front of our eyes. We'll be seeing snow that's showing up on the radar, and then it's never hitting the ground. Total drag. So we're hoping, at least I am, praying that doesn't happen this time as well. So I don't think it will, just based solely on just the number of models that are all in agreement that we should likely see some accumulating snow this time. Callaway says, everybody don't go crazy. If you can survive the game in KC, you can do this. If in doubt, don't get out. Correct, because that was our motto when I worked at Marine 911 long ago. If in doubt, send them out. And we don't want to have to send the first responders out after you. If you got your yee truck in a ditch, somebody might be along to pull you out, like the humorous post that we shared there later, but you also might be stuck for a while because the wrecker companies will be busy. Like, may not come get you till Monday morning, Tuesday morning. Busy. You're just going to have to get a ride home. So, seen it happen, been out there on the street, freezing my butt off, waiting on a ride with you. So, don't be that guy or a girl. All right. Yeah, definitely a long time, Miss Kathy. Definitely a long time. Yeah, at least 28 years, says Bobby. She remembers a little bit better than I do. All right. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel, Cecilia. And like I said, everybody, if you're not already subscribed, head over onto the YouTube channel. The video quality is way, way better than here. You can get us in full 1080p HD, 60 frames a second of glorious Captain instead of this, where it's a little bit meh on Facebook. More convenient because you're already on Facebook, I know, but again, in a big event like this where I may end up leaving the radar loop on all night when I'm not actually sitting here and just kind of broadcasting the radar, or when we're looking down to the street level on things, it's so much more clearer and crisp on YouTube. So that is all I've got, pretty much, ladies and gents. Don't want to take up any more of your valuable time. So unless anybody's got any questions to throw in that comment section here real quick, that will probably be all I've got. Again, just stay tuned and looking for our updates as they come out on the Weather Down in MuleTown Facebook page. We'll try to get them out to you as soon as they come back from the National Weather Service. But other than that, this has been your captain speaking. Hope you have a great night.